Stellar Blade is one of the most talked about games on the internet right now, and it's not because it has great reviews. People are talking about this game because they claim that it is being censored by Sony for being too sexy. But is there actual truth to these claims, or is it just a bunch of dudes upset that a character isn't hot enough for them? Now, if you're smart and you avoid Twitter, you probably have no idea about the controversy that is surrounding the newly released game Stellar Blade. Let me quickly inform those people that may not know about Stellar Blade. It's an action RPG that stars a character named Eve that kicks ass and shakes it too. This game has gotten pretty great reviews and has even been compared to Souls-like games, but just more horny.
Am I chopped liver?
This whole thing started on April 26th when a whole bunch of Coomers noticed that one of the character skins they wanted to use in the game was missing something. Cleavage. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, the creators over at Stellar Blade decided to nerf one of the costumes by putting some mesh over the boobies and some mesh around the thigh areas. This change led to a bunch of Gooner gamers claiming that the game was being censored and that it was false advertising. As you might imagine, Twitter got those war drums ready because this isn't the first time that men have went to war over a woman. Hector! But these Coomers needed a leader. They needed their own Achilles to lead them into battle against censorship to reclaim the cleavage that was rightfully theirs. Luckily for them, one man already had an 8-step plan to make Sony and the creators of Stellar Blade return the booba back to its original glory. That man was Grubs. Okay, all jokes aside, this guy is really the reason why so many people are talking about this game right now, and I wasn't joking about that 8-step plan either. He has literally an 8-step plan on Twitter, and we're going to be going over it in a little bit. But as I mentioned in my thrilling story, a lot of people are claiming censorship because of some cosmetic changes that happened in the game, and they're saying that Sony, or woke culture, are the reason for these changes. Many people claim that if you bought a physical version of the game, you can still get these outfits unchanged, but if you do the one-day patch, it makes your cosmetics less sexy. Now, there is some truth to that, because if you do buy the physical copy, you can actually still get the cleavage bunny suit. Also, buying physical wins again, like I talked about in my digital media video. Here's the thing about the day one patch though. It wasn't put out to make costumes less sexy, but more so to cover another thing that people were complaining about. You see, in the game, there was this random placement of graffiti that said hard, and it was right next to a shop that was called R, which obviously reads hard R, which is something that I think only Americans really know about, except for maybe people that keep up with American culture. There were some people out there saying that this was intentionally put in the game, but I think it's just a coincidence. I don't think it was meant to be there. Why would you want to hurt one of your biggest markets in America by doing that, you know what I mean? So yeah, I don't really believe that this was intentional. Funny thing here is that's not really a talking point when it comes to this fight for censorship. It's just all about getting the boobies back. Actually, it didn't stop at the booba. These people just started pointing out any changes that they noticed in any of the skins in the game. Mesh was added to another suit, one suit didn't match the icon it was assigned to, more mesh on boobs, and this suit added stockings to the dress. Personally, I think she looks hotter with the stockings. I should make it known that someone on Twitter did claim that the stockingless outfit was fake because they showed that the 1.0 file has the stockings. That same person also confirmed that the Booba Bunny suit was actually patched. So those are the reasons why guys are claiming that this game is being censored. But let's move over to Grumps' 8-step plan to make Sony give Eve her cleavage back. Before I continue, I'm going to need you to hit that like and subscribe button because we're nearing 1,000 subscribers on this channel, and it lets me know that you like content like this. Plus, Eve won't get down from this ledge until I hit 1,000 subscribers, so help her out here. Step 1. DM the creator of Stellar Blade. I'm not joking, that is step 1. Let me read you the DM. So far, the game looks phenomenal from streams. I am looking forward to my pre-order to arrive today. As you know, your game is more than a game. It is a cultural beacon. To be fair, I do believe cleavage has brought a lot of cultures together. In a time of great censorship and anti-gamer sentiment, your game gives gamers great hope. It is why now, more than ever, it is important that you know you have their support. Regarding the changes from the trailer in costumes, please change it back. You have so many fans who want Stellar Blade to be even more successful. I believe that changing things back to what was originally shown sends a strong message and will increase the success even more. All I want you to do is remember that line about success because we're going to talk about it later. Step 2, the creator follows me, so let's be nice and tweet at him a lot. That's basically step 2. They just want to tweet at the creator a lot. And at least they say nicely. They say be polite, be nice, you know, don't be an asshole, which I appreciate that. But that's step 2, just tweet at the creator a lot. Step 3, I'm shadow banned. Help me tell Elon to reverse these changes. This one's just kind of funny because it's more self-serving than anything. I don't think it's really helping the cause. I know he's supposed to be the leader, so they probably want his tweets to really go out there, but I feel like you can just do this with a hashtag. If enough people use the hashtag, it would just grow the whole thing. Actually, with modern day Twitter, I don't even know if hashtags matter that much anymore, because I feel as long as you're talking about a word, it just gets thrown in search. So you just gotta say Stellar Blade all the time. Oh, and I just wanna point this out because they do have a video that says that they're shadow banned. I just tried to search him on my stuff. I do not follow this creator. I'm showing you right here. This is their page. I do not follow them. They show up in my search just fine. So does the hashtag Free Stellar Blade. So just kind of throwing that out there. Step 4, mail letters to the gaming studio. This step is crazy because you're asking a whole bunch of gamers to write a letter. Now granted, it would probably be typed out, but then you want them to mail it to Korea? I feel like you have a better shot of having mandatory showers before entering a convention than you do having a bunch of gamers writing letters to Korea. Unless gamers can DoorDash that letter to Korea, I just don't think this is gonna happen. But hey, I'm always down to be proven wrong. Step 5, spam Sony North America and compare Stellar Blade to other games that have mature content. Now, step 5 is actually interesting because I do think it is a good idea to compare Stellar Blade to games like Cyberpunk and Baldur's Gate that do have sex in them. But I think these comparisons only work against people that are saying that Stellar Blade is over-sexualized. I'm actually currently playing Stellar Blade. Follow me on Twitch if you guys want to see that. But yeah, so I haven't really gotten far into the game, but I don't think Eve gets piped down at any point in this game because I think I would have heard about that. So I'm gonna go ahead and say that the devs had no plans for that and that's why it's not really in the game. Step 6, boycott Sony. This step is actually the first step that I think makes any real sense because I think you always do hit the person where it hurts the most, which is their wallet. But unfortunately, I think unless Sony is monitoring their subscriptions and also looking at social media to see all this Stellar Blade stuff, I don't think they're really going to connect the dots on why they would be losing subscriptions. Because Sony probably already has an influx of people that subscribe and unsubscribe every month, so you'd have to get past that to make sure. There would have to be a significant decline from their average monthly, decline of subscriptions, I should say. But at the same time, I'm pretty sure that anybody that has a PlayStation subscription isn't going to be using that for Stellar Blade because it's a single player game. I don't think you need the internet to play it. That'd be really weird. So if they canceled their subscription, they would just be hurting other games that they already like and that did nothing wrong to them. If this was something like Fortnite, Apex, Call of Duty, yeah, it would make sense to cancel your subscription. But, I mean, Stellar Blade's a single-player game that doesn't need internet access. Step 7, sign my petition. Yep, there's actually a change.org petition to free Stellar Blade. And I have to say two things about this. One, I'm kind of surprised that there's almost 50,000 signatures on this thing. And two, I was not expecting that when you go on the petition, there would be videos from people that signed the petition that you could freely watch. And we gotta show some of them.
Abby from The Last of Us, Cyberpunk, Baldur's Gate, full frontal nudity, full jiggle physics, full hardcore sex scenes, not an ounce of it censored. Stellar Blade, 17 costumes, 17 were censored and added mesh to different areas so that they didn't show too much ass. Blood was also heavily censored. We got baited and switched out. We got lied to. It's false advertisement. Remember, 17 costumes. Fight for it, and let's win this.
First off, love the passion. But I do want to talk about the whole blood, because I've heard a lot of people talk about how, oh yeah, they're censoring the blood in this game, and I don't think that's the case. A few people have already claimed that it all depends on the settings you're playing on, and that could change the actual amount of blood or gore that you see because of frame rates and all that kind of jazz. But I think what people are referencing when they talk about the blood is this scene from the demo. And if you notice, there is blood that is splattered all over the screen, right? I think that's what people were expecting every time they fight like a big boss to happen, but I think that's just a clever transition into the gameplay of the demo. I should say gameplay trailer, but you know what I mean? Like, that kind of stuff happens. It's just to make the thing seem very, flawless into transition. I don't think that was ever shown in any other trailers for the game. That was like demo specific. But hey, maybe I missed a trailer, but from my understanding, I feel like that's what people are pointing to, and I just don't think that was ever expected. So while editing this video, I wanted to compare my demo video to my live stream where I fought the same boss again, and there's noticeably more blood in the demo version. Now I thought this could be because I was wearing a different outfit, but if you slow down the video, the blood is just instantly placed on the character, and there is a different blood splatter pattern that happens on screen. So there's still a lot of blood in the game, but if people were expecting to be covered in the stuff, I could definitely see the argument of how that is misleading. Also, I just want to point out, people do love to mention that Abby scene from Last of Us 2.
Abby getting railed in Last of Us 2? Good. Asian character in a game with too much cleavage? Ooh, can't have that.
See, I know a lot of people complained about Last of Us 2, but it clearly left a mark on a lot of y'all. But I have to show one more video because it is my absolutely favorite.
Please shift up, please. Please uncensor Stellar Blade. Games would be fun that way. Oh boy.
Sorry everybody, I have switched sides. Free Stellar Blade! I love that this guy was just saying please, and that the game would be more fun if it was uncensored. And then he ends with the, oh boy. I vote going forward that this guy should be the leader of the Free Stellar Blade movement. I also want him to have a Twitch stream where he plays the uncensored version of Stellar Blade, because I want to hear him say, oh boy, every time, you know, the boobies jiggle out of the suits. But let's move on to the videos to step 8. Contact YouTubers. Hey, that one worked because I'm actually making a video about this whole Stellar Blade thing. Now, granted, they didn't contact me, and I don't know if I'm giving it the publicity they want, but YouTubers are talking about it. They say any publicity is good publicity. Okay, so with the whole 8-step plan out of the way, let's talk about this whole mess of patches, false advertising, and Sony not letting its creators and developers show their vision. Well, here's the thing about that last one. Someone actually asked the creator of the game, or at least someone who I believe is the creator of the game, about the censorship regarding the costumes in the game.
이런 이슈를 혹시 지금 알고 계신지는 한번 좀 물어보고 싶었습니다.
예, 당연하게도 이 이슈에 대해서 인지를 하고 있습니다. 다만 이제 저희가 최종적으로 여러분들께 보여드리고자 하는 것은 1.0002 버전의 의상이 맞습니다. 그래서 그게 최종 프로덕트라는 것을 확실히 말씀드리고 싶고요. 다만 이제 이것이 어쨌든 유저 여러분들을 완전히 납득시켜드릴 수 있는 답변은 아니기 때문에 지금 현재 그것에 대해서 내부에서 논의 중입니다. 그래서 조만간 한번 그 부분에 대해서 말씀드릴 수 있는 기회가 있을 거라고 생각합니다.
So there you have it, an actual person that worked on the game saying that their vision for the costumes are actually the costumes you get in 1002. Now obviously I don't think a lot of people are going to accept that, but you should be happy though, right? Because a developer is saying this was their vision, and, you know, it's out. It's out there. So, you know, we should just be happy. If that's what they're saying, we should believe them, right? I feel like a lot of people are going to be like, no, we want the freaking less, you know, closed version of that. That should have been your vision. If that's the case, we're not really fighting for developers' visions here, are we? I kind of already touched on the patch information when I talked about the graffiti, but a lot of people on Twitter have confirmed that the bunny outfit changes actually happened on April 19th, which was 5 days before the actual release. 7 days, I math wrong. So the bunny suit wasn't part of the day one patch that everybody's claiming it to be a part of. But because the physical version has the actual, you know, uncensored bunny suit, that's what people want to believe. I do kind of find it crazy that people would believe a AAA game would release perfect on disc on day one. When was the last time that ever happened? Let's move over to the false advertising claim, because that is a big thing I've heard a lot of people talk about, but I don't really see where it's coming from. I already covered the claims about the blood in the game earlier in the video, but now I want to see why everybody's saying that the costumes were changed from the trailers. I did look up a couple of trailers, and the only one I could find with a legitimate change was the bunny outfit right here. The red mesh suit is already in the trailer, and you can clearly see that there is mesh on her chest. So I think these photos here could just be a graphics issue. So remember how in step 1 Grums was all like, this game is a beacon and we want it to be successful? Well, it turns out that he's actually hurting this game more than he's helping. Because apparently if you contact Sony, you can get a refund on your game if you claim false advertising. I do want to point out, I just saw that on Twitter. I'm not going to verify that myself because, well, I like Stellar Blade. I'm not going to ask for a refund just to see if this works. But I did want to present that information in case some of you are upset about this censorship. And yeah, look, apparently some people say you can get your refund by claiming false advertising. What I will say about this whole false advertising, because there's some mesh on some boobies, if you actually played the game, there's still a whole bunch of revealing outfits in the game. You can literally have Eve in a naked skin suit, this sexy lingerie one, or just a straight up bikini. I mean, look at how these things jiggle. What is there to complain about? Now, I didn't do the research on this, but I can guarantee that there are games out there that have showed stuff in trailers that are different upon release, because trailers are just a preview for the game. They're not the final product. Now, I know I made a few jokes in this video, but I do want to make it clear, I am personally not a fan of censorship. I'm one of those people that wants the black bars out of my hentai. I think artists should be able to share the vision they want to share, and you can choose to support it or not support it. I think that's just kind of how it should be. But from this particular situation, we have developers saying that this is their vision, so I think we should just accept that. Look, I'll always be down to have sexy ladies on my screen, but a few pieces of mesh are not big enough for me to completely throw away a gaming experience. Small update while I was filming this video, it looks like there's been an update from Grums on his Twitter. They tried to kill me to stop this. Asmongold has picked up the petition. Highlights the ridiculous links that people are going through to try and stop the petition. In fact, as I write this, Twitter has shadow banned the hashtag FreeStellarBlade. The tag is deboosted and wiped from autocomplete. Just like how they tried, and failed, thank you, to shadow ban my X account. The fact that they tried to put a $20,000 bounty to have me deleted says it all. This is more than a petition, it's a political threat to them, and you are winning. He then shares a quote from Asmongold talking about how, people go to these crazy links to, get things changed and then complain when people are mad that things get changed. If you've ever seen Asmongold before, you know he has some very polarizing stuff. Now, I do think people kind of blow Asmongold's opinions out of the water sometimes. I do think Asmongold has said some dumb shit before too. So, I don't know. I always have to go watch his videos to be like, all right, are people blowing this out of proportion, or did he really actually say something dumb? But that's a 35-minute video, and I'm not going to do that right now. I got this video to get out, so if it's something interesting, maybe I'll have an update on that. But for the most part, Asmongold dropped the video on this apparently, and, Grums is over here saying that it's a big thing that he actually got on there. Asmon does have a pretty big audience, but I don't know if it's really gonna push, that many more people to make some kind of change here. As for that $20,000 bounty he's talking about, that comes from some guy on Twitter that said, I wish somebody would pay $20,000 to end this guy, or something along those lines, which I think is completely unacceptable. Like, look, we can sit here and say that Grums looks like a complete idiot, he's a cringe lord, this is a stupid thing to, fucking die on a hill for, right? You can say all of those things. It doesn't matter what he's doing. Nobody's life should ever be put in danger because you don't agree with them, you think the shit that they say is dumb. That's never acceptable in any situation. And yeah, that guy is an idiot for saying that. But I have one more thing to say to the people that are extremely upset that these changes are being made to Stellar Blade. Everyone that's upset, you should band together, bring your refund money back together, put it in a pot, and go pay one of those crazy hentai animators to make a video with Eve doing what you actually want from this game. Some of those animators are really amazing at what they do. I mean, they single-handedly, pun intended, are keeping Overwatch relevant. At least with that, you'll have something to show instead of all the complaining on the internet over a game that still has a whole bunch of sexy. So yeah, just grab a drink and enjoy Stellar Blade.